So who remembers this when it came? It still is a pit monster, but boy oh boy, it was a rotten old rusty pit monster. So I've just basically, hold on, let me go and see Charlie. So yeah, where were we? What a pit monster. Wow, we can get at it and see it now, can't we? Now this, I've had to cut away. I didn't think I was going to get this out. We know it's not going to work again. We know it's not going to be strong enough to hold the jaws again. It's just, we just want to make it more nail worthy, don't we? Yeah, but it opens and closes pretty easy now with a bit of encouragement. This was all well mangled over, so I decided just to knock the tops off, just to make it easier to go in and out. We'll sort of park it up at this sort of we'll park it up at that sort of level quite we'll park it up and hide that out of the way, won't we? That'll do the trick. Yeah, we'll park it up like that, won't we? Yeah, but what a pit monster. We've rescued it from a fate worse than death. Yeah. We've just managed to keep the 6, or maybe the 9. Yeah. The name is there, just see, Hand Tools, Dronfield, England. Hand Tools Limited, Dronfield, England. Very, very difficult to see, but you can just about see it, can't you? Yeah. And we've got another example to show like. So yeah, those 3 now are ready, are nail worthy. Do you know what I mean? We'll put this preserver on this, we'll put wax in this, cover this in wax so it doesn't flash rust. I mean, you'd be tempted, I know you feel it, I know you can fill it and sand it down and paint it, but I don't know if it's a lot of time and effort for a little reward, as you might say. So at least it's brought it back from the death, and that's what we're all about here, aren't we? It would have been seized and useless and thrown in the scrap bin, but we've rescued it, haven't we? And we've rescued the name, we've kept the name alive. Just, only just, mind. There, look, kept the name alive. So tell me what you think. It's just nail worthy now, isn't it? It's not as bad as it was. It was in a terrible, terrible rusty state, wasn't it? So don't fall over. I'll try and get around you. So, who remembers? Now they've been sitting here and I've been tripping over them for so long. Who remembers these white sacks we got with nails in? Do you remember them? We didn't pay much for them. We saw them in the car boot. They took our eye and we didn't buy them, and we saw them the next week and they were still there, and I think we saw them the next week again, and anyway, I bought them. And the thing is now, look, they're in a bag, they're unorganized, they look ugly, but they're perfectly good nails for whatever you're doing, what you're building, except they've picked up a bit of rust. They must have been outside, or they've been standing for a long time in these sacks. So you just pick them up and put them in order. So I want to really judge how much space they're going to take up. How many jars are they going to take up? Are they going to take a tub? Are they going to take a jar? So I use sort of something to gauge them by. So what I'm doing here is, I don't know if I took the right spot. I'm not sure if you can see that spot. Do you know, we've all got tubs of oil and we don't really know what the oil is. Probably spare from a service or something, and it's in a tub and the label's gone off the tub. So I've got loads of sort of tins of miscellaneous oil, brand new oil, but really not sure what oil it is, and you'd never put it in your car. You wouldn't really know what it is. So we're just going to soak these in oil. they're just going to kill the rust. Just going to stop. We just want the rust to, we don't want them to get any further. And they're perfectly good nails. They cost you a fortune if you were doing a job and you had to go and get nails. And remember, we picked them up for hardly £1 a bag or £2 a bag or something. I don't really remember what we paid for them, but we wouldn't have paid much at all. And it makes it worse because they're in, there's rubbish in and amongst them, you know, plaster and dust and all that. So just spend a bit of time and just pull them out. When you pull them out one by one, it's a good way of knocking all the filth off them, because there'll be quite a lot of filth on there, won't there? So it's also another way of pulling them out of the dust and the rubble and the concrete and the plaster. And I don't know what's in there. There's some sort of, I don't know what it is. There's some filth in there. It's part of it. So just pull them out one by one. Take your time. Each one you pull out is one less to pull out the next time. And I don't know if you can see they're mixed in with some sort of horrible garbage stuff. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm having a sort out. I'm slowly working my way through this nail, and see this rubbish that's in there. If you pick them up like that, you get that. Ugh, don't know what it is. But just pull them out individually. I quite like being on the floor, sorting all these out bit by bit. You're in your own little world, aren't you? We turn the music up and we just pull them out, sort them, bring them back to life. See how much space they're going to take. If they're going to take are they going to go in a jar, or are they going to go into a gallon can with the top lid ripped off? I don't know yet. I haven't really judged them, because when they're in a tub like this, they take a lot of space and they look terrible, don't they? Just get them, put them in order, put them, you know, if you were that way inclined, you'd put them in bundles of 10, wouldn't you? Or bundles of 20 or bundles of 50 or something. So let's get them out of this rubbish, and let's just crack on and rescue these nails. Stop them from being a nuisance on the floor, because I keep falling over them. I've picked up so much stuff from the car boots and I haven't sorted it. So I'm having a huge sort out, trying to get on top of stuff. Yeah, put it all away. That's the plan anyway. I had to show you that film. I had to put you that film on because it's a talking bald head, isn't it? Have you ever had a chat with a bald head? And hopefully now this will get you. Hopefully now you're seeing this bag. We're pulling the nails out bit by bit and getting rid of this, I don't know what it is, straw, or it looks almost like straw. We bring the nails back to life and we're measuring what size. Let's put them all together in a nice bundle, see how much space they're going to take, so that we know we get the jar. We get the jar that they exactly fit in. Yeah. Right, so before you go to sleep, I'm going to switch off. But yeah, I am tidying up. We bought a whole load of stuff from the car boots and basically dumped it in here. So I'm finally getting around to tidying it up. Hopefully, that's a bit of film. What did we get out of them bags of? Remember them white bags of nails we picked up? Perfectly good nail. Got a bit of rust on the surface. Great for fencing or whatever you want to use them for. We've saved ourselves a fortune. There's a little pot on there yet to be make them swim in oil. That'll just kill the rust instantly. It'll stop them from rusting. We had a few of these type nails, didn't we? Are these galvanized, and look, they've got the twist on them. See, they got so they're extra grippy, almost like pallet nails, I suppose. A few of those that are galvanized, and again, those are there. We'll be pouring oil on top of them, and then just running them around, soaking them in oil, and probably leaving them in that jar should we need them. Just pull them out, stops them from perishing anymore. These been galvanized pretty good. I can't remember what we paid for them. Was it £1 a bag, £2 a bag or something? I know it was ridiculously cheap next to if you had to go to Screwfix or whatever to buy a box of them, or any of those sort of, what's it, well worth recovering. And of course they're in the stores, you know. Again, they're in the stores. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at Debbie has got me. You know, everybody knows what I do, and they asked Debbie, does your husband want some jars? Yeah, always using, look at these beauties. They've even got an handle on them, Deb. Look at these. Wow. I can feel a new shelf coming on. I can feel a whole new shelving. Wow. These are going to be so useful, Deb.
Are they?
For storage.
Oh,
yeah. Bigger than what we got. Actually, I'm working on nails at the minute. The whole of the nails are going there.
I'm not too sure how strong they would be, but they're stronger than what you think, probably.
Oh yeah, strong, plenty strong. Plenty strong. Come here. Thank you very much.
That's alright.
Oh, the word is spreading. Reggie is a nuts and bolts nutter. Wow. How many is there? Wow, that'll do lovely in some show.
Oh, you there?
I got a feeling some new shelving's got to be made for these. Just got to find the wall.
And
a proper jar and another one. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, brilliant. Lovely jubbly. How lucky are we? Look, they're going to fit in these shelves. They're going to fit in these shelves, lovely. They're going to fit in there, lovely. They're going to be all right. Should I need to put them in there? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How are we going to deal with these now then? A lot of space here, isn't there, above the jars? I think it'll be a case of, are we going to just, it's the volumes in it. You put in the jar what you've got, and then you make it fit, don't you? What are we going to do with these? Oh, plastic, fantastic. I'll just keep these have been here for years and years, and as you can see, there's not a spot of rust or deterioration on them because I keep them in jars and I give them a good drink. Every time I open the lid to use something, I give them a good spray of WD-40. We've got next door, haven't we? We've done them next door. We've done these. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? There. I can feel a whole load of shelving coming up, but where are we going to put the shelving, and are we going to rethink this? I don't know. Loads of them. And anyway, the very first job it's going to do is going to hold all them nails. I was Debbie rang me, they were on the way. I was very carefully putting the nails in the jar, and we were going to have several of these, but now these have come, all them nails will fit in the one jar, won't they? And I won't even have to put them in carefully, just tip them all in there. Fantastic. Woohoo! So let's see if we can do a better job of filming that. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully. Now, as you can see, I've already started on that one. I placed them in, put as many as I could in. But these have arrived now, innit? And you can see that looks pretty full, doesn't it? It looks pretty full, but it's not really. I just randomly threw them in and they're all crisscrossing each other and creating too much space. So I'm going to show you live and at the scene how we can make this lot fit in there by just being a little bit more careful. They're swimming in oil, So it's going to be quite a messy job. Ooh, yeah. It's going to suck up a lot of oil. This is now. I may have dropped a boo-boo there. Maybe this cloth isn't big enough. No. We'll see. I can always wipe it up afterwards, can't I? Right. So what we're going to do now is, rather than just throw them in any random sort of order, let's get them out first. Ooh, yeah, they're swimming in oil. Wow. They're swimming in oil. And all that oil's going on the floor, but don't matter. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to place them in. It makes a difference. You know, when you're putting stuff away in jars, it does make a difference when you just organise them. And luckily, this is a big enough place. I can put my hand in there now, can't I? So there's not going to be many crisscrossed. So we're going to make all of those. We put that slightly going backwards. We just sort of organise them into little bundles. Place them in carefully, or as careful as you can, without getting any crisscrossed over. And that should give us plenty of room. And hopefully this rag will hold up. You see, just sort of place them in, and that's already, I can see now, that's going to be, I'm going to have half of them left. Yeah, and it's not a bad thing that there's oil everywhere, because it all gets over them anyway, all covers them in it. Here we are, just keep tapping away, putting them in, tapping away. And here we are, put them in order. So whenever you're putting stuff away, whether it be nails, whether it be nuts and bolts, whatever it might be, don't just throw them in a jar and place them, because you can get a lot more in if you take a bit of time. And you see, these now are going to be virtually a lifetime's worth of nails for me now. I'm not really a nail person, not really. Look at that. Wow, look. And of course they'll tip up as well, won't they? So whilst we've got that oil there on the rag, what we'll do, we'll tip them out there, give them a good washing and coating in them as well. Give them a good washing and a good coating. It'll use them up. It'll use up the oil on the rag, get them all nice and coated, and it's going to instantly kill the progress of the rust. And of course, once they're in there, they'll all be touching each other, they'll all get themselves covered in oil. So we're just going to place them. That was full, wasn't it? Look at this. They're going in really nicely. Really nicely. Again, just put them in. Just get them all nice and straight. Get all your soldiers in a row. Make a nice handful so you can handle it. Like that, look. Nice and close together. Then just gently push them in. So now we are getting this, we're filling round through the neck, aren't we? There's still plenty of room in there. Just make sure you don't get any twist up and take up all your space. Just gently get to doing smaller bundles. Put them in there, look. And we'll still have plenty of room when we lift the jar vertical. These are all nicely oiled up. Let's put these in there now. What's going to tend to happen is going to make a hole here. It's going in. It's looking really good. Make sure they go down the sides there. There we are. Let's just make another few small bundles. Yeah. we can just gently tease in there, shaking them about, pushing them in. That's going to go in there without causing too much trouble. Yeah, I think we might get away with it. What we're going to do is we're going to shake it about a bit. Put that in there. I think we've cracked it. I think these are going to fit in there. This is going to be the last little lot of nails that's going to fit in there. And the rag's done its job. It's rescued the oil from going all over the floor. Obviously we'll put the rag in the bin. Look at this now. Wow. This last bit's going to be a bit tricky. Nothing we can't deal with. And look at that. Wow. Yeah. Can you see them? Is there a way of no? Otherwise I'd pour that oil. If I was on a tray, I'd collect the tray and put the oil back in there. But anyway, we've seen live and at the scene, it was a bit messier than we thought. There's no big deal. That'll now go in the bin. We've now seen how we can make all those nails. You thought it was full, now it's full. Now it's full, and all the nails are all stood up like little soldiers. We've got a nice good lid on that. Wow, we've used that tub. We've used that tub as soon as it's come through the door. Makes a difference when you put stuff away. So for me, that represents a lifetime's worth of those nails. I don't imagine using that many nails. But you just never know what project, what job, what fence needs fixing, what shed needs banging back together. Wow, amazing. So you remember these old rusty nails that we rescued? We sorted them all out in the rescue. They're really dry and they're really rusty, aren't they? Well, what I tend to do is I keep oil, all the oil from all the oil cans and stuff. You know, I don't really know what oil that is. It looks pretty contaminated to me. It's not very, it's not the bestest oil you've ever seen. It looks very sort of watery almost, doesn't it? But it's plenty good enough for working on these. Just work them, shake it about. You get a good old rattling, knock all the rust off. You know, the nails are rubbing against themselves, aren't they? I mean, you could take it out, you could but all I do is when I get something like that, just get them and get them well and truly covered. So first of all, that's good. That's killed all the rest. Instantly killed all the rubs. Because they've all rubbed against each other and you give it a good shaking, that will soon. We know now every bit of nail in there is well covered in oil. And gravity will do the rest. All this, put that on the shelf for, doesn't matter if it's in there for a year. All this will all slip down to the bottom and become almost like a sand or a mud in the bottom. But meanwhile, your nails, the rust has stopped on them, which is all mostly surface rust. And because we've got a nice proper lid in a proper glass jar, that, like I say, I'm not a nail person, but they'll sit there. There's a lifetime, for me, it's a lifetime supply of nails ready for action. They're not going to deteriorate anymore. I've got them. I've picked them up out the car boot. You'd be lucky if I've paid 50p or even a quid for them. And they'll sit there for 1, 2, 3, 4, for as long as you can count. That's how long they might be there. I mean, well, we might be lucky, then we might need them. But if they do nothing, they're not going to deteriorate anymore in a jar, are they? And they're going to sit on the shelf. And actually, the filth that's in there now. I'm between two minds to sort of pull them out, sort of dry them, and then put them in another jar and then just wash this paraffin, clean it out, reuse it again. But we'll see. We'll leave them there. See, it's settling in the bottom already, and all that will drip down and through it. And yeah, just for the sake of picking them up, and the way inflation, what inflation is doing, what you'd pay for them in, you know, you'd probably pay £3 or £4 quid, maybe a fiver for them, but give them 5 years on the shelf, and the way inflation and the rarity of things are going, they're going to be worth their weight in, well, not their weight in gold exactly, but you know, you're going to save yourself a lot of money, aren't you, long term. And the thing is, you'll always get your money back for them. You'll take these to the car boot, much better condition. You'd ask a couple of quid for a jar, wouldn't you? So, you know, they're not going to deteriorate. They're not going to get worse. If you get a bit skint or you're having a clear out, you haven't exactly wasted your money, because you'll take these to the car boot and resell them again, won't they? And get you your cash back. Yeah.